You are listening live to the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naeem Latif, and our host today is Mamadee. And this is Wisdom with Mamadee. And we look forward to you calling in 515-605-9325 and press 1 when you're ready to speak, and we'll open your mic and get your thoughts.
Okay, we're back. Thank you. Mamadee Love, y'all new again. And you've been listening to Wisdom with Mamadee. Is Mr. Wallace red?
Wallace Red, if you are on the switchboard, please press 1 at this time. We have several callers on the switchboard. I want to make sure. If not, we will continue on.
Nine. Is there any number starting with 901?
No, I believe he's not on yet. We'll continue to try to reach him. And also, for those who want to join us on Facebook Live, you can go to the Female Solution on Facebook and write in your comments. And of course, you can call in 515-605-9325 and press 1 when you're ready to speak. We want you to call in if you're ready to really participate in this effort to force the officials to do a real investigation into the murder of Jelani Day. And if you're a mother, we know it's touching your heart to hear something so heinous happen. Every life matters, and we definitely want to send a signal that Jelani's life matters, and that means us gathering together in Peru, Illinois. And if you need a ride, of course, you can come to Rainbow Push on, and that's 930 East 50th Street on Tuesday, 8 a.m., because it's a good couple hours ride, 8 a.m., and that's 930 East 50th Street on Tuesday, October 26th. We need to make a statement, and we need to galvanize the people and let it be known that this murder will not go unaddressed and unsolved. So, Mamadee, as we continue
is
to...
Carmen available?
And...
Yeah, can she go on early?
She will be available at 1:30.
Okay. Well, I would just like to say, when I heard her speak, I think it was last week at Operation Push, she reminded me very much of Mrs. Mary Wilson, mother of Benji Wilson.
Oh, wow.
Who was a nurse, and she knew that there were things that should have been done and wasn't done that could possibly have saved Benji Wilson's life. And I was talking earlier about the Laquan McDonald situation and how the whole world was grieving with that family and irate over the fact that there was a cover-up. You know, anytime you're willing to pay $5 million out to a family not to file a lawsuit, then you had the argument that went right along with that, and it had to be, had to fight, had to go to court through the Freedom of Information, and in order to have that tape released, because it was never to see the light of day. Emmett Till was supposed to be buried before his mother even arrived in Mississippi, never to see the light of day. And you can bet there was some hanky-panky, some irregular things going on mouth, but there was no attempt to find out who he was. So it gets back to what is called the slave catcher mentality. We are treated like we are still slaves, and the law enforcement responds to us as if we are slaves. And it is why we have to rise up and say, oh, no, I know that my son is as worthy as anybody else's son or daughter, and you will not brush me aside, even if we have to take our own family and go out there and get the job done. Somebody is going to look for him. He is missing, and he is loved, and his soul and his life is just as valuable as anybody else's.
Absolutely.
We will not act like slaves with slave catchers on our trail.
Absolutely.
But I found it very interesting when they were talking about the whole George Floyd thing, and white people were beginning to respond because they were locked in. Just like the first time they showed Ruth, it was such a snowstorm that couldn't anybody get outside of their houses, and things were shut down, and people had to sit there and watch Ruth, just like they had to sit there and watch this man being tortured to death in the hands of law enforcement. And that was an article, and this and he was a white reporter, and he says, well, it's a lot harder to forgive people that you have hurt than it is to forgive somebody that has hurt you.
Wow.
So I thought that was,
Yes.
And it kind of makes sense because you've done them wrong, and you don't want to confess it.
Absolutely.
You're blamed there.
We got a comment from our Monday host, Zelda, and she says, Grand Rising, beautiful Queen sisters. Awesome subject. We must protect our children before the streets get them. All children matter. Yes, thank you so much for that comment, because all children do matter. And that's the statement we need to make. Like you say about that slave catcher syndrome. At some point, we're going to have to do away with an armed force that's constantly making us feel like we're being stalked for assault. And this mentality has to be erased from the general population. And we who have been conditioned to fear young Black males have to change our thinking, because we are constantly getting a steady barrage of imagery. Like you said, people adding age to children. When you see 12, 13, 14-year-olds, and then we're constantly hearing all these stories about carjacking of these teenagers, well, then that puts the mindset of people into children. Black children are dangerous. But we have to, as you've always said, we have to love these souls into shape. There's no way that someone is out with a gun at 13, 14, 15 years old if they are receiving love and care and nurturing in their home. So something isn't happening in that home that we have to come together and help and restore that child to a sensitive childhood, a sensible childhood, rather than somebody who's been so abandoned that they can't tell the difference between a video game and real life, where you're killing someone or threatening to kill someone. Like you've said, we dropped the ball on that one. We're the ones who didn't do the job in protecting them from that kind of insanity. But we definitely cannot let authorities treat our teenagers as if they're grown people who are conscious of what they're doing. They are not. And we cannot allow them to fall prey to that kind of thinking where they're always being treated as if they are criminals and need to be restrained. We've got a caller on the line who wants to join this conversation. Let me open a mic for area code 312-381. Grand Rising. Introduce yourself to our listening audience and give us your thoughts.
Well. Guess who's on the phone?
Sounds like
that Bianchi on the phone again.
Bianchi from St. Louis.
You know, I love me some Bianchi. I love me some Bianchi. You know that does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me tell y'all something. I hear what you're saying, but that ain't the reality. In St. Louis, you had a 10-year-old with a gun, carjacking. These black kids now. Then you had an 11-year-old and his mama who got a guy that gives them a lift. Next thing he know, he's being pistol whipped by an 11-year-old, and the mama kicks him out on the ground, takes the keys and takes the car, and the 11-year-old drives on away with it.
And that was in St. Louis?
Yeah, I ain't picking on Chicago today.
What's in the water there at St. Louis that's causing this monstrous behavior?
It's going to get gooder or worse, whatever you're going to say. You're saying that. I'm saying an 11-year-old had already been arrested for 12 felonies before he allegedly killed Siobhan Dean, and which was the best friend of my grandniece, Brandy, and then he ended up being killed himself. When they interviewed the hijackers, one was 14, one was 16, and one was 19. Now the 14-year-old, this is what he said. He said, "Well, I watched Grand Theft Auto, and it looked like it was fun, and I went out and I did it, and it was fun." And they asked him, "Are you going to do it again?" "Yeah." And this 16-year-old was a girl. And you know what she said? "Well, I needed a ride. And they don't expect girls to be out there jacking, so it's a lot easier for the girls to do it. But I needed a ride." See, you don't teach your children right from wrong. This is all we're dealing with. These parents don't know right and wrong themselves, Mamadee. We got to tell it like it is. You talking about, I said 11, then you got 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14, 15, 16. Now you just mentioned 17-year-olds. So that's what's going on. That's the reality. These parents don't even know. You know, I'm going to tell y'all this. And I really don't mean it to sound as bad as it does. But I believe there's a large segment of what we call black society that's actually cursed. It has to be. What else can it be? You don't try everything. You don't pray. You don't took your food and held it up to the sky before you ate it. You don't pour libation. You don't march. You don't hum. You don't done everything. And it just seems to get worse. And look at this thing there in Philadelphia on the public transit. It's illegal. Rapes this girl, this woman on the train, a female, I don't know what age she was, and people standing around letting it happen. You know what that means? That means that they are used to seeing people having sex in the public. They didn't think nothing of it.
Well, obviously so. I mean, you know, if you watch porn or you see it all the time, or, you know, people are doing things in public, it doesn't trigger in your mind this is a crime. Even if the woman is screaming, "Get off of me, stop, whatever." Because of course she was not silent, but people are used to watching things.
They said she was. They said she was unconscious.
Unconscious? What did he do? Hit her head up against the.
But these people are morally bankrupt, and that woman, this is probably a black man. He was a man from the Congo. He was from the Congo illegally in the United States. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She might have been black. He was black, and the people watching white And with
No, with no whites on there. Those are all black.
If everybody involved was black, it's not a race thing. It's a human thing.
That information did come out, so I'm glad that you clarified that, because I didn't know that the woman was unconscious. But just because you hear all these different views on something that happened, sometimes you have misinformation. That's why it's such an honor to have Jelani J's mother come out and give us some straight information, because it's a lot of information, especially on WBON. Now it's gone from the voice of the Negro to the voice of the nation, and now it's the voice of black and brown. And the Judge Scott's decision said blacks have no rights. We didn't say nothing about black and brown.
Well, the Dred Scott decision at the time it was made, blacks weren't citizens of the United States. But what Naima said is right. See, actually what you're talking about is human nature. That's what human beings do. Not all, but you have those on both sides of the spectrum. But they reported one way. Black man shot by white police officer. But when it's the other way around, you don't hear no color of skin. You got to go digging for it. Mm-hmm. You talk about Dalen Roof and they taking him to Burger King. All right. Well, this young man, this kid that shot these four in this school, Mr. Simpson, when he came home, they had a party for him. And then they created a GoFundMe for him. He was driving 18-year-old, the parents, I guess, bought him a $30,000 Charger car. He had a diamond earring and gold teeth.
Oh, wow. That's ridiculous.
Well, what about the 17-year-old? He can walk around with an assault rifle, shoot two people, put the gun down, put his hands up, and still no police moved in on him. You know?
Well, what you're talking about, Carl Rittenhouse, he was in defense of people trying to hurt him. He shot one man with a gun that was going to use it on him. Another man took a skateboard and tried to hit him in the head of it edgewise. I don't blame him.
What authorized him to be 17 years old, carrying an assault rifle as if he was a vigilante, part of the police force? This is what I keep saying.
He was there protecting property and to afford first aid, Mamadee.
But it wasn't his property.
He was a semi-automatic rifle. You were worse than the news media.
But it wasn't his property. Why was he there? He didn't live there. It wasn't his property.
Assault rifle, excuse me. A big gun like that wasn't an assault rifle. Was it a big gun?
No, it was not an assault rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle.
Well, it was big that you used in wartime, and that Black Lives Matter march was not wartime. He was not a soldier. He was not jeopardized.
He had the right to protect himself, just like he has had incidents where you have kids. Well, you have kids, when people enter their house and do harm, those kids have shot intruders.
You know,
as young as 12 years old.
My home. If you enter my home that one day, he was on a public street, just like in Chicago. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but there was people shooting into someone's home. A person was killed. There were several people shot, and the our state
Kim Fox didn't prosecute him. Talking about it's a family faction.
No. What she said was it was a duel. You know, they both agreed to go out and have a shootout. How do you agree to shoot in a residential area and not be charged with you didn't have the right to have that weapon? Whether you're going to just walk down the street with a great big gun like you protected yourself. Did somebody ask you if that gun was registered? Or somebody asked you, what were you doing? This was obviously a youngster, and the men that saw him knew that a child wasn't supposed to be having that kind of gun.
Oh, no, these guys was... Well, why did the other man have a gun then? Why did the other man have a gun that got shot down? Why did when he fell down, you had this grown black man with white pants on come try to stomp him, and he rolled over. He's lucky he had his back turned to Kyle, or he would have got killed. He wasn't. And see, that's the thing. Anybody that wasn't in a threatening pose, he did not shoot him. But when they was in a threatening pose on him, he shot him, which he should have done. This young man was well coordinated.
Oh, he was a threatening pose to be 17 years old.
How do you know he's 17 years old when you look at him? This 11-year-old that done the carjacking, he didn't look like he was 11 years old. And you know, here's the thing that gets me. Listen at this, Mamadee. In 144 days since Memorial Day in Chicago, you don't have 2,524 blacks shot by other blacks. No white police shootings.
Well, we don't know
317 murders.
You know why we don't know it? Because there has been no solving of the crime. They don't know who did it. So if
you know who reports it though, Mamadee? You got the Chicago Times, you got the Chicago Tribune, and ABC 7 Chicago. They reported 3 newspapers.
So
they report the killers, but they don't report who got arrested for it.
Well, how the heck the police gonna keep up with that? You would need to have 10,000 police officers. Well, you need about 40,000 to keep up with all that's going on.
No,
that's
I'm just saying, police does not catch the perpetrator. They cannot say what his age, race, creed, or color was. When they don't catch it, they don't solve any crimes. They don't arrest people for these crimes. And they got all kind of red light cameras, blue light cameras that can't see over 6 miles an hour in a school zone camera, and they catch every light that goes over 6 miles an hour.
It's ridiculous.
They cannot find these killers.
It's ridiculous. Every place else, you want to dissolve the police. Look at Walgreens out there in San Francisco. Have closed 22 stores because the prosecutor won't prosecute anybody that steals under $1,000 worth of merchandise. People just come in and fill up sacks.
What kind of law is that?
What kind of law is that?
Yeah, what kind of law is that?
It's crazy if you want to ask me.
Exactly. So that's where the people come in. You get rid of people that say it's okay for you to have a shootout on a residential street like you're in the OK Corral, and and not just get Granny get your gun. Annie get your gun. Granny needs to give her gun where you gonna go down.
They didn't get rid of Kim Fox after Jesse Smollett, so they ain't gonna get rid of after this shootout with these 5. You know that.
Well, no, I don't know that.
We'll watch and see. We'll watch and see. And you want to know something worse than her? Come on down to St. Louis with Kim Gardner. It's something about these Kims. Naeem, I'm glad you ain't named Kim.
Well, I don't believe in blaming the officials for what the people are doing.
Your family should to find out if you got a Kim. You might have a Kim.
You got that right.
You might have a Kim masquerading as a Kenny. Oh, how you know?
You and I, look, the 3 of us can admit, we ain't never seen nothing this bad. Never even thought that something would be as bad as what we're witnessing. I mean, come on, think about it. They had a book.
I'm agreeing with that.
Wait a minute, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna email this to you, text this to you. They had a pamphlet in the Parkway School District. Now, this is a white school district that shows males in cartoons giving one another a blowjob.
In a cartoon?
This is what they provide the kids.
And what city is this?
Parkway School District, which is outside of St. Louis, West St. Louis County.
Well, that's a reflection of the mentality of the authorities, of the people who run the school district. Everybody who's an adult does not necessarily have ethics and values and principles just because they're grown, just because they're of adult age. You have people who are expressing whatever their dysfunction, their imbalanced thinking, their perversion, they're expressing it wherever they are. And if they happen to work at the school, that's where they express what they are. So that's what we're seeing.
Well,
we're seeing what's inside the adults.
The U.S. Attorney General wants to send the FBI to these school districts where parents are trying to hold their school board members accountable, and they don't want critical race theory, but turns out that his wife's husband is an investor in that type of material that's been sold to school districts across the country. It is totally ridiculous.
We got to go off our break. We don't need, thank you.
Thank you.
We don't need theory. We got the truth. And the world is upside down, and we need to turn it right side up.
Turn it right side up.
So
we're going to take this next break, and we'll come back and look to be joined by our guest. And of course, if you're listening online and want to join this conversation, give us a call, 515-605-9325. Press 1 when you're ready to speak, and we'll be right back with Carmen Bolden Day, mother of Jelani. And we are looking forward to this conversation so we can energize you to get involved. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mamadee. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment, 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Susan Essentials. I started Susan Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Susan Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses, and we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Susan Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing. Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Beata.
Carmen.
And every Friday morning at 8 on the to make choices that will fit your also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment for creating love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 6 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and
All right.
Okay. Hallelujah. Greetings. We're back. Mrs. Carmen Bolden Day, the mother of Jelani Day. Welcome to Wisdom with Mamadee. And before you tell us a little bit about yourself, your son, and the work you've been doing and what we can do to help, I want you to know how much I admire you for standing up. You remind me so very much of Mary Wilson, who stood up for Benjamin, and Martin and Mrs. Mamie Teal Mosley that stood up for Emmett. And you're not gonna let his legacy go unnoticed as if his life did not matter. So welcome to Wisdom with Mamadee. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Jelani's mother. I'm the mother of 5 children. I'm just a concerned mother that wants to know about her son and wants to make sure that her kids are protected at all times and at any cost. And this time I wasn't able to protect my son like I normally am able to. So I am asking now that I get the assistance that I need to find out what happened to him.
Well, one of the things that I admire from when I heard you speak on other programs was the fact that our theme today is the slave catcher's mentality and Negrophobia. The way that you took the initiative after your son was missing one day, not 2 weeks, but you took the initiative to say, okay, officers, what are you going to do? And when they refused, what steps did you take?
I just did what I would think any mother would do. I had to go looking for my child, and I knew I couldn't do it by myself. So I reached out to my family. I reached out to my friends. I reached out to strangers. I had to do what was necessary because I know if I was missing, my kids going to come looking for me. They're not going to wait for anybody. And they know I'm not going to wait for anybody.
Yes. You know, Mamadee, today at Push, Bishop Tavis Grant, he kind of gave a list of all of the mishaps that the police did, and even to the point of having Ms. Bolden Day go and identify a body that wasn't even her son. I mean, how traumatic was that? They said, "Oh, we found somebody here. Look, is this Jelani?" You know, what was
I never identified a body that wasn't him. I wasn't able to see the body. The body was found on September 4th. When I asked, could I view the body? They told me no, because they said that the body was severely decomposed. When they identified the body as my son on September 23rd, listening to them and listening to the attorney, listening to the funeral director, and just hearing how severe that the body was, I didn't want to remember my son in that way. And I had a fear of looking at the body like that. So I chose not to view the body. However, my mother and my son, they did choose to see the body. After I got the second autopsy, And the way that forensic pathologist gave me that information about the second autopsy, I regretted not looking at the body. I just feel like in that period of time, I was hurt. I was scared. I didn't want to look at Jelani like that.
You didn't want that memory in your mind.
I didn't want that embedded in my brain. But as time went on, I feel like I should have done it so that I could be certain I didn't have to hear secondhand of what they saw. So
that is why that's why you reminded me of Mrs. Mamie Kill Mobley. She said that she just wouldn't have been able to describe the damage to Emmett's body, and that that's why she decided to have that open a casket. But of course, when you're in various stages of
grief
and questions and all of this, that's why earlier I said it took a lot of strength to just go out and say, if you won't do your job and look for my son, then I'll have to do whatever I have to do to find him. He's just not going to be a missing person, and that's it. So that's what I was talking about, the strength that it takes, and what you're doing now. I mean, it's not like you're over the grieving process, are you? So tell us about what
grief never ends.
Courage.
well,
You should be involved right now with what you're doing.
grieving. I've had to grieve through this process. I don't know what happened to Jelani, so I have not in a long time lost anybody that's been this close and intimate to me. So I don't know how people grieve and how they deal with grief. This is my first real traumatic loss. Okay, so in this loss, I've had to look for him, and I've had to cry, but I had to stay focused. Then I had to find out that a body was him, and I still had to stay focused. Now I got to find out what happened to him, and I still have to stay focused. So I don't get to get in a corner and grieve. Believe me, I want to. I want to lay in the bed plenty of days. I don't want to come out the room. I don't want to do anything, but I have 4 other children that are depending on me. I have 4 other children that I have to be strong for. And if I fall down, then they fall down, and my kids are strong too. So during this process, I can't even tell you that I have been able to, quote unquote, properly grieve, because I still have work to do. And while I have work to do, I thank God for my family. I thank God for all the support that I have, because it's because of them that I'm able to do what I'm doing. It's because of them that I'm able to stand up. It's because of them that I'm even able to talk to y'all, because without them, I can't tell you where I would be.
Yes.
Well, have you met any of the other mothers? Because it's like the mother of Trayvon Marks, she has to go through the same struggle. Why is it that that they're so reluctant to get justice when it comes to our children? Is it because they are still mentally not valuing their lives? What do you think?
I don't think that Jelani was valued. I don't think that, I truly believe that they thought that I was just going to be the mother that, okay, her son is missing. the things that they said to me throughout the process is that Jelani parked his car, Jelani dropped his wallet, Jelani's clothes were found by the riverbank. All of those are implications that my son did something to himself. So those are things that I couldn't let even sit anywhere. Not that I would think that people with common sense would believe that, but everybody don't use common sense. And that's probably why they said the things that they said to me. And speaking to other mothers, no, I haven't been able to speak to them. I really haven't even, I couldn't put myself in their shoes then. And right now I've been so focused with what I have to do. I haven't taken any of that into consideration. But there have been 2 mothers that have reached out to me that their children are missing right now. I had a mother reach out to me yesterday asking me for help. I had to tell her, I don't know what to do. I've just done everything. I've prayed. My kids have given me ideas. I've just done everything I've known how to do to get to the point that I'm at right now today. She told me her son has been missing since July.
Oh, no.
July. Jelani was missing since August the 24th was the last time he was seen. But her son has been missing since July. I have never heard anything about her child. I don't even, the detective that she's dealing with has just given her nothing. And I feel within my heart that if Jelani's absence from me now has to help me help other people while I'm finding answers for my son, then that is what I'll do. Jelani's purpose is bigger than what I ever imagined. And now that he's not here to shout out with his loud voice, his mom is going to have to be his voice. I'm going to have to use my loud voice to be Jelani's voice. And if my loud voice has to help other people so that they don't have to continue to get the answer, to get the non-answers that we have already not gotten, like our kids don't mean nothing to us because we can't report our kids missing after 2 weeks. And you see the FBI and planes and dogs and people in green suits in the swamps and stuff looking for them. We don't have that liberty. And that's not fair to us.
So that
our kids are important.
Yes. And we've got some words of support here appearing on our Facebook page. You got family support. Mamadee David says, love you, Auntie. And Gloria Bolden says, justice for Jelani. And we want to announce that Rainbow Push is organizing for people to go down to Peru and Illinois. And you need to come to Push Tuesday, October 26th, 8 a.m. If you want to ride the bus there, we're organizing a bus load to go down there and make a statement, protest, demands, as Carmen Bolden Day is saying to us. The helicopter should have been out there when she said her son was missing. The people who dragged the waters and all of that is due to whoever is missing. And our lives do matter, and we need to keep making sure that we make our lives matter. Get those people out here to do the searches. Get the FBI and all the forensic scientists who are out there to determine what actually happened. We have the technology. We got to use it for all of us. Ruby Severanos sends her love, and of course, we matter. As Gloria Bolden says, we matter, and we must make sure that justice is served. Winning Davis says justice will be served. We're going to make sure that happens. Eli Davis says he loved you, Auntie. Another voice of support. And Eli says it's going to all unfold, and we do believe that's going to happen. And Winning Davis also says thank you, for being strong, being powerful, and you are a powerful sister, like Mamadee saying, like Mamie Till Mobley and the others who stood strong and made the laws change, made the practices change by being strong. And Winnie Davis says, my nephew's life definitely matters. So this is an uncle who's standing strong with you. Andrew Town says, you are a strong Black woman. Baby, we love you. Sending more love. And Tanisha Reed says, we love you, Carmen and family. It will unfold. So yes, we are making sure that we stand with you. You are not alone. You have a whole national, global community standing with you. Something else, Mamadee, that Bishop Tavis Grant said at Push, and questioning why parts are missing. You never know what's happening. We have to stop this in its tracks. We can't have any more missing people. And then when you find the remains, parts are missing, because that always starts to sound like the underground organ trade. And we don't need that to be happening, because we got strong organs. I mean, our people be strong hearts, livers, lungs. When parts are missing, that says something else. And when officials start stalling about investigating, that always sends up a red flag. But Mama, we got two callers on the line. You want to add to? I'm sorry, Carmen, go right ahead. What you saying?
Absolutely, and the song that I've seen some says, until the killings of Black men, Black mother son is as important as the killing of white men, white mother son. We don't believe in freedom cannot rest until it's done. But my question was, the car that they showed on television was it that a fancy looking car? Was you think that in a little big town area that there could have been some harassment, and what I heard on the radio was that people saw him drop his wallet. Well, if you saw him drop his wallet, why did you tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, you dropped your wallet?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that kind of suspicious, the fanciness of the car, and somebody said they saw him drop his wallet?
Again, when you say that you saw him park his car and you saw him drop his wallet, and then his body is in a river and his clothes are a mile up the river, you're implying that my son did something to himself. So if they saw Jelani and we already had posters out. We already had things out saying that Jelani was missing. So if you thought you saw Jelani, why didn't you call anyone? Why didn't you contact anyone? Why do we wait till a week later to find out information that you got a wallet that's my son's? To me, I just want to dispel the narrative that Jelani did anything to himself.
Right.
Because that didn't happen. My son's car was found in Peru, Illinois, which is 60 miles north of Bloomington, which is a sundown town, which has a population of 96% white people that Jelani had no known connection to. So that implication that Jelani, even if you were smart and thought you want to do something to yourself, why would you drive somewhere in that area? And how would you know to go to the spots where they're saying that my son's stuff was? Because when I see the spot where his car was, Jelani wouldn't have did that. He would have never parked his car there. That car was a gift from his dad. That was his grandfather's car. That meant something to Jelani. So all of these, even with I'm sorry.
But why is it that you think that he did something to himself? I think the person that was caught with his wallet might have been the one who did something to him. How has
that would be a suspect
on him?
Well, everybody is a suspect to me at this point. Everybody,
right.
Anybody that know anything.
Mama, do you got a couple of calls we might be able to take before we Go area code 407-701. I believe we got our Friday host Viada on the line. Grand Rising, thanks for joining us. Give us your thoughts.
Greetings, sisters. I was on the beginning of the show, and then I had to leave and come back, and you're on a whole different topic. But my youngest son's name is middle name is Jelani, so this got my attention. And I just wanted to share with the sister about how my son is 35. I don't know, how old is your Jelani?
He's 25.
He was 25.
Okay. When my two sons came to me on Mother's Day and said, Mom, we got the jab, I was so depressed for about an hour because I had been all for a whole year trying to get them not to do what I was trying to tell them to do. So the Creator Most High in that moment said, now you need to let go and see their soul journey now and stop trying to control and influence them. So for me, that was like so astonishing and shocking. And then with the Spirit telling me to now let go and see their soul journey as independent young souls and men. So that's what helped me have peace. I have so much peace about anything and everything that happens to my Jelani. It's like it's out of my hands, totally out of my hands. It's their soul journey that they're on. I have no control over it, but I can pray for them. I pray for them every day. Favor be upon them, and then I let go. So that's just my testimony from my Jelani,
and that's hard.
That helps too.
That's definitely hard for a mother.
So wait a minute, is her Jelani is her Jelani deceased?
No, hers is still here.
Hers is still here, so I can't agree with what she's saying about letting go and letting his spirit. That's not going to help me right now deal with the fact that I don't know what happened to my son.
Yeah, we got one more caller. But I get the spirit of what you're saying, but you know, when you're going through mother's grief, it's a big difference. But let me see if I can get in 773577. Go right ahead with your comments for our guests before we go.
I had a question, Mamadee.
Yeah, we're kind of running a little bit out of time.
Yeah, this is Deborah. I want to call those shifted.
Yeah. Go ahead, Deborah.
Okay, thank you. I want to shift the conversation a little bit, but I think it's important for those who are on this side. Please, you see how important it is to let folks know who you are, where you're going, who you've been with, and what you're doing. It's so many of our children who are missing, who have been missing for days, and we as parents or adults don't know that they're missing because of the characteristics that they live. They don't want folks to be in their business. We don't care about your business. We want to know who you are,
where you are,
and where you're going. And that will help.
Yeah.
That will help. We need to know like that.
Well, that.
Be grateful for the fact.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for that, Deborah.
We only got about a minute or so. I want to thank you, Mrs. Day, and we are very impressed by the fact that you were not ever an absentee mother, and when your son was missing one day, you knew something was up. He didn't have to be missing 2 weeks like Gabby. You knew immediately, and that is why you are so important to this struggle right now, to help other mothers, like the two mothers that have already reached out to you to say, our sons are missing, and we want something done. So I just think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, and never stop until you get the answers of what happened to your son, because we all are mothers of Jelani, and we want to know what happened to our children. And just keep up that fight, and I hope to see you on Tuesday. Because I plan to get on that Operation Push Button.
All right.
And again, thank you so much for keeping your son's legacy alive. If he's dead, you are charged out what happened. For all the mothers who still have live sons, hallelujah, good for them. But you must
Absolutely.
act on behalf of your son and keep up the good work. And thank you so much for being on Wisdom with Mamadee.
Thank you so much. And thank all of you all for joining us on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. And this was Wisdom with Mamadee every fourth Saturday of the month. If you're interested in going on that trip to Peru, Illinois, and you want to make your statement, join us at Rainbow Push National Headquarters Tuesday, October 26th, 8 a.m. You need to be there so we can make sure we gather and get on the bus and make our statement. And of course, if you want more information, you need to call Rainbow Push. And of course, that number, we want you to make sure that you get in contact if you need more information. We ask, of course, that you remember all of the social distancing guidelines, bring your mask and all of that. We're making sure that people feel safe, but we do want to encourage you to be a part of this movement. Again, that's 930 East 50th Street in Chicago. And of course, we, as always, appreciate the work that is being done by Reverend Jesse Jackson and his field director, Tavis Grant. And we are certainly looking forward to being a part of this demand for justice. And we want you to, of course, add your name to the list of those who are standing with our sister, Carmen Bolden Day. And you can call Bush 773 Freedom on your dial. And also make sure I give you that direct number to the switchboard to let them know that you want to be a part of this effort. Again, that's Tuesday, October 26th, 8 a.m. We need you to meet at Rainbow Push, which is at 930 East 50th Street, 50th and Drexel, or call 773-256-2700. That's 773-256-2700. Let them know that you would like to board that bus on Tuesday and you're standing with Carmen Bolden Day and demanding answers for her son, Jelani Day. So we thank you so much, and we'll certainly be there on Tuesday. And I applaud your strength, your power, and as you said, Jelani's life has a purpose, and his passing will transform lives. So we thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
All right, thank you. And I just want to add, my whole purpose and goal is to get the FBI involved, and I need the Attorney General to do whatever he can do to ensure that I can get the FBI involved. That's what I need the world to know. That's my focus now. I need answers. So I need the Illinois Attorney General and I need the FBI.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly stand with you in that request, and we're looking forward to even getting our local attorney generals involved, state's attorney. We want everybody to stand up, speak up, and demand answers, and ultimately demand justice.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Naima Latif on behalf of the Female Solution Global Radio Show. We'll see you next time. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mamadee. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.